Um, I'm trying to figure out who's talking about the children. Let's see here. Who's talking about the children? Who's actually trying to do something about the children? Okay. Because I can look down a whole bunch of news articles. And I'm telling you now, I don't see nothing. I don't see a whole lot in the news about what's happening with the children. I remember doing videos about, everything being in Congress. And don't get me wrong, because a lot of crackdown is happening at HHS. Where DHS is involved, yeah, it's a lot of crackdown happening. But more specifically, what is going on with CPS? Because that entire agency, all of that needs to be destructured and brought back up. From the bottom up, it needs to be that way. From the bottom up, it needs to be that way. You have to have people who are willing to go deep within the crevices of these agencies and start asking questions. Because until that happens, I don't believe they're really trying to crack down on what's happening with the children. Specifically, what's happening with the children that are in and throughout the foster system. I don't believe they're trying to do anything about it because I don't hear anything about it. Not even within the state, from the governors, from anyone. What are they doing about it? I don't know how many times people have to tell you that CPS is probably the biggest trafficking agency in the United States. They're the ones who had the most access to all of these children, that went missing and nobody can account for them. How about they have begun changing their systems? They didn't start this year, but within the last 10 years, they've been changing their systems. Supposedly going from old systems to new systems. And in the process, they've been losing information. So if you go back to try to get information about your whereabouts and things that happened during the time that you were in the care of the foster system, they're going to tell you that they don't have it, or their system has changed. So that none of the information may be there anymore. So that decreases some of the exposure that could come out for them. Nobody wants to crack down on CPS. And if y'all are cracking down on CPS, why y'all not talking about it? What are we doing with CPS? What is being done with them right now? Are any investigations going on with CPS right now, within CPS right now? Are some of the states doing it and others are not? Where's the oversight for the employees who work for CPS or DHS? The ones that specifically handle the children. There are records missing. There's information missing. And you know who did it? The employees who work for these agencies. They did it. Whether they were told, which they probably were, by their supervisors or not, they're the ones who are doing it. You know, because these are human robots. A lot of these are human robots that they only follow programming. That's all they know how to do. I can't deal with these type at all. I recognize when I'm dealing with one of them and I cannot do it. I'm sorry. No, 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 no. I can't do it. But that's how they function. They only care about job security. That's it. So if they're meant to look past something, a lot of them will do it. If it's not in writing, they're not going to do it. It's very sad. But you have a lot of them like that working for DHS, CPS, DSS. You have a lot of them working for these agencies. They will not do anything without being told. So if they're not being told, they're not doing it, even if their humanity is called into question. Going forward, I really feel like they're going to be scrutinized heavily scrutinized going forward. All of the people who deal with children are going to be heavily scrutinized, to include background checks, because I don't know how schools are doing background checks on the types of people that are around children, and pedophiles are in the building. Something's not right here. Or is it because they may not be on paper? Because that's what a lot of these people care about. Paper. What's on paper? What's on that black and white? Why? Because they know that's something that can be proven. I noticed that a lot of them would try to avoid black and white because it could cause problems later. You know, people who like to hire cheap labor, these people skip the black and white. How many, because I think I asked this earlier, how many politicians, how many people in supervisory positions like superintendents and things of that nature, how many of them are talking about what's going on in their schools, in the education system, in the foster care system? How many of them throughout the states are talking about what's going on with the children, as if this is not national, in fact, worldwide news? That the United States looks just as bad as other countries when it comes to these children. Some are accusing the United States of being number one in pedophilia. And it's not just high-ranking people either. These are people in your everyday neighborhoods doing this shit. Yes, these are your neighbors. These are your teachers, your principals, your coaches, your doctors. All of these people have access to children. Who's talking about it? I mean, this should be something that y'all concerned with. Why? Because y'all want to talk so much about the elections that are coming up this year. None of y'all are doing, what are y'all doing about the children? Because this is not going to go away. Not when they're still finding children. This is not going to go away. Just like all these other agencies and things that have to be destructured because Congress is tearing them up. Not just Trump, because everybody want to throw his name out there. You know, this seems to be a talking point for a lot of politicians on the left. Anytime they get a chance to throw his name in there, even when he don't have nothing to do with it, they'll find a way to do that. Like the rest of us out here don't have the children in mind and want to know what the hell is going on, because we do. It's not just him. I don't know how much involvement he has with the Epstein files. Right now, all we know is his name is mentioned. There are pictures of him, but I haven't seen a whole lot of information that he's done something. Yet you have whistleblowers coming out about people specifically doing things to them. And how much are we doing about these people? I mean, you're not going to expect people to know that this is going on, but not recognize that you're not doing anything. They don't, you're not talking about anything else that you're doing. We know these people are out here, but people are ready to see what you're doing about them. Y'all think people care about millionaires going down for doing unspeakable acts to children? The innocent and the vulnerable that we're supposed to protect. You think people are going to care because you're a millionaire? Why should people care because you're a millionaire? You get less respect. I mean, for me, you get less respect. If you're in a position of power and abusing it this way, you get less respect. You get no respect from me. I don't give a damn if you got money. I don't care. People are calling your name out for doing things to the innocent, and you're not answering for it. That is a problem. We're not going to act like people with money haven't been doing things behind closed doors that we ain't know nothing about. We passed that. Tyler Perry. We passed that. You got another lawsuit on your hand. I knew that shit was coming. I already knew that was coming. And from what I'm hearing, Alan Payne was one of the first people to call him out about his shit, and nobody wanted to listen to him. And y'all done made this man a billionaire. I don't have any respect for adults who knew things were happening with children, decided not to get involved, but instead leave and say nothing to protect their interests. You think your hands are free because you did that? Not if you knew what was going on and you chose not to do anything about it. You people are sad that are choosing to attack survivors for coming out and telling the truth about these people y'all have been supporting, and including the ones who work for all of these agencies and organizations that deal with children. Of course, you ain't gonna want to find out that it's one of your family members that did that. But it happens every day. I don't respect none of you who are attacking survivors for coming forth. I don't respect survivors who are attacking other survivors for coming forth either. That is a choice. And just because you're not making it doesn't mean you get to hinder or cause problems to the ones who are choosing to speak. Let me tell y'all something. I don't give a damn if you believe what happened to me or not. I don't care. I know my truth and I'm going to continue to speak it. It don't change. It don't change. It's still the same. And if any of you want to confront me, I'm here. But I'm going to know why you coming at me, and I'm going to know if you got hidden intentions behind that. So you might want to tread lightly when you're dealing with me. I was victimized by the church. The church people. It can make it real hard when you growing up and you surrounded by a bunch of people who are in the church or church members themselves, and you've been violated by church members. That can be real hard. You people who are like, I don't know what to believe. I don't know if that's true. How do we know that really happened? Where's your proof? What the hell kind of evidence do you expect me to have 40 something goddamn years later? It's right here. And the story don't change. And I can still point them out. I know their names to this day. When I told you that the female walked into the room while my attacker was on top of me and did nothing. That's the day I knew adults couldn't be trusted. So why tell them anything? Y'all are proving that point still today. Y'all are adults who are able to do something about it. I'm talking to the adults who are able to do something about it and are choosing to remain silent. You can't unsee what your eyes see, period. And you can't explain that to a 7, 8, 9-year-old child that did what you told them to do, which is to tell somebody, and then you did nothing. Now, what do you think that does to a child? A lot of us are out here fighting for these children because we have direct knowledge of the type of impact it has on the psyche, on the spirit. Adults who told children to keep their mouths closed. And if they went to tell, the adults would lie. You know, I don't have the patience or the tolerance for the malingering anymore. When we're talking about children's lives and we're talking about humanity, y'all are showing how off it is in this country alone. People don't know what to believe. The truth is being tainted by lies. I'm not gonna even get started on AI because I ain't even dealing with that. But this situation with the children is not gonna go away until it's getting addressed, and we know it's getting addressed. We know it's getting handled by all the states, all of them. Not a handful, not a few of them, all of them. Because foster care children are taxpayers' children. They are. They're taxpayers' children. You know why they're taxpayers' children? Because the people who foster them can claim them. Yes, they can. That's why I'm having a hard time understanding how information and children got lost under the foster care system. How is this possible? When the children are tracked from the time they enter to the time they leave, where's the information? How is it that you're not able to explain why a child is being moved from place to place? Do you know what that does to a child when they're moved from place to place to place like that? They have difficulty attaching. But y'all don't give a shit because they not y'all kids, right? It's not y'all kids, so y'all don't care. We got every right to be fucking upset. All of us survivors got every right to be upset because we're seeing it again in real time how nobody cares. The ones who are able to do something are not doing anything. And that includes people with money, all of them. You know, the ones who was there but left. Chris Tucker. I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with y'all. Like, I don't know. What do y'all need? What y'all need? I want to know what Congress need. And then from Congress, I want to know what the rest of the state need. What do they need? Is anybody investigating the schools? The people you have working in the schools, around the schools, with the schools, to include contractors. The children matter. Yes, they do. They matter. And to me, they matter more than the adults do. Why we want to sit here and keep talking about celebrities and more specifically Donald Trump and every move that he makes. Well, as y'all can see, I'm working on my art. See, um, I don't know how often I'm going to be going live. I really don't know. Um, Sometimes I want to, and sometimes I don't. It do get tiresome to keep begging and pleading for people to do shit. People who are in positions to do things. People who are hired to be in these positions to do things, to have the balls to be able to do them. And we're not going to act like people at the top don't sometimes get blindsided by the things they don't see because the people they have working underneath them are making that the situation. They hinder the employees or anybody else who tries to bring the truth to light. They try to sway them through their job security, taking things from them. It's a form of control so that they can try to maintain control. Get the hell out of here with that shit. Because they don't want you interrupting their operations, but I already told y'all that was going to happen. That was going to keep happening. Since the Democrats don't really like to talk about the children, I'm wondering why that is. I'm not hearing many Democrats talk about the children. I'm not. And this is not a political issue, but it is an issue, a nationwide issue that affects your constituents. And you're not talking about it. You're not bringing light to it. You're not doing anything about it. Is it because a lot of you are involved? You don't care enough. You turn a blind eye or you feign ignorance. I don't know. But this, you can get discouraged from advocating. You can get discouraged because you see how much people don't care. They don't care. And that is the sad thing. That's sad because why? Children are still being abused. Pedophilia is still a huge problem. On the lower end and the higher end, it's still a problem. You have a lot of people out here who don't see children as people. So they're not going to care what they do to them. And they don't want you to care either. And so they're less likely to bring it to your attention. You think because you call a child a liar about the things that happen to them, simply because you don't want to interrupt whatever interest you have going on, that's not going to come back on you. It will. I got a question though. Do y'all think P. Diddy is getting out of prison? I notice y'all still talking about him. He's in the news still more. He's still in the news more than the children. Mm. I don't know, y'all. This don't make no sense. I feel bad because I can relate to these children who've been abused, who are still being abused, and it's hurtful. It's very painful to know that you're trying to get change, make change happen, and you have all these people who are coming against you, who are trying to stop you or hinder you in your process some kind of way. You find one avenue, you getting stopped, you got to find another avenue, you getting stopped, and you got to keep doing this because you got somebody corrupt along the way each time. They are everywhere. They are everywhere. And when I say schools, I'm not just talking about grade schools. They're in your colleges too. They're in the public and the private schools, especially Catholic schools. They're everywhere. I guess we're going to find out this year what's going to happen. Y'all going to hear a lot of big names being called this year. Big names. I can't wait to see your reactions. But then the bigger question is, what's going to be done about it? Because now The U.S. got to show people that they're not just willing to bring it to people's attention who these perpetrators are, but that you are also willing to hand down justice to these people, regardless of their pockets, because that's not what we're seeing. Pam Bondi and Cash. It needs to be everybody, because that's what we're looking for. We know that it's big names on that Epstein list. We know already. We also know that some of these names are politicians. We know that too. I'm not going to sit here and act like I don't notice that it's a lot of representatives leaving Congress. They're retiring. Whether we know exactly why that is or not. It's going to be more of that. This is what happens. I just feel like this happens a lot with cowards, especially. I'm learning that it's a lot of cowards in government and in entertainment. It's a lot of cowards. Like Oprah Winfrey. It's a lot of cowards. Oh, I don't need to address them. They don't matter. They're just speaking. You're a coward. You're a coward. And so is Tyler Perry. So was P. Diddy. So is Jay-Z. So many other names. They hide behind their money. A lot of them do that. That's all they know how to do. Some of them will never address you if it means that their name will be discredited. Anyway, unless one of those people whose names I called out have something to say, nobody else's opinions matter to me. I don't give a shit. So you can leave your chat, you can leave your comment, you can do whatever. I don't really care. But when I speak, like I've said before, I'm speaking directly to people. So if they want to address me, they can do so. I have questions. This is an inquiring mind. So I don't need to speak to your spokesperson or your publicist or none of this other shit. I want to speak to you. But that's all I had to say. I don't have nothing else to say right now, but I'll be back. Because I feel like it's a lot of people who need to be held, they just need to be held accountable for the mess that they've been doing. Injustices they've been doing. And anybody who commits crimes against children need to be held accountable.